Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here today, back with our Cabral HouseCall, our second one of the weekend. Hopefully you got to tune in yesterday. There was some fantastic questions. I actually just opened up our Word document, and if I kind of peek back at what we went over, let's just see. We went over digestive-based issues, urinary tract infection-based pain, candida or yeast-based infections for women. And I also talked about men as well, how it can also affect men. What else did we went over? We went over high levels of stress hormones and sex hormones and what that can do to the nervous system. So we talked about how that may also affect dizziness. We talked about eosinophilic esophagitis, inflammation basically in the esophagus where we swallow down. Talked about the difference between green tea and green tea extract and how it's possible that one may affect the liver. Talked about soy and sunflower lecithin, the pros and the cons. And then we talked about what? We talked about tinea versicolor. We also talked about blepharitis and so much more. So hopefully you got to tune into yesterday's show. What I'm going to do right now is get to 5 or 6 more of our community's questions. We do this every Saturday and every Sunday. And again, once again, I appreciate you tuning into the show. Appreciate your support. As I always say, do feel free to share the show with anyone that you think it could serve. All right, let's dive into the Q&A. The first one's from Joey, and Joey says, hi, in your experience, when clients have issues due to mold, how long does it take once they move out of the moldy environment to start feeling better? Yeah, that's a great question, Joey. And a lot of people ask us, so 2 different frame. Let me answer yours, and then let me go to the second one as well. So the first one is, typically, so it's all about the rain barrel effect. You can actually see it right there. If you've ever read the rain barrel effect or you're watching some video, you can see me point. If you're on audio, you have no idea what I just did, but the book's behind me. So please, read the rain barrel effect, and it's free at stephencabral.com. You just pay for the shipping. Why do I ask that? Because this is the rain barrel effect, right? So when we're in a moldy environment, we're constantly being exposed every single day. And so our rain barrel is always filling up. And even if we empty it the next day by leaving the home, just a little bit, of course, and we come back to it and it fills back up and overflows, we have all the symptoms. Okay, so yeah, you want to leave the house. That's a big part of it, right? But you want to have it remediated, or you obviously move to a new environment. Okay, so here's the thing. You can start to feel better, like 20%, 30% better, but you may never feel better because the mold is now in your body. Right? And so what you typically need to do is some type of mold protocol in order to be able to knock out the mold and detox the mycotoxins, which is essentially the poisons that are given off by the mold itself. So that's what we see in our practice. And people always ask then, should I do the mold protocol before I move out of my moldy house or before the water damaged drywall is cleaned or not? And I typically actually tell them, you're going to continue to be exposed to it. So unless you want to do 2 rounds, or if you have this, if you have gut issues, you'll do the CBO protocol first. And then while you're doing the CBO finisher, hopefully the work will have been done. Then you can do the mold protocol. That's a great way to do it. Many people do it that way. If not, wait till you get the work done. You can do a functional medicine detox in the meantime. Keep doing sauna, things like that, open your windows, etc. But if you're not living in a moldy environment, of course, outside your home, and then do the mold protocol, all right? All the mold protocol, heavy metal detox, functional medicine detox, etc. Everything's at stephencabral.com/shop. Of course, you do not have to buy it there, but you can at least see what we're doing, what we're recommending in our practice where we worked with hundreds of thousands of people. And you can at least see what we do, and then you can find what works best for you. All right, Holly's up next. Oh, and I have to obviously share my disclaimer now. I'm not here to provide you with any medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, or medical diagnosis of any kind. We're here to look at the underlying root cause imbalances that are keeping people unwell. All right, so Holly's up first. Hey, I've been listening to your podcasts. They're amazing. I listen between clients, when I'm walking, etc. I've been on a mission for so long because my body's inflamed. I know I have SIBO, leaky gut, and candida. I have numerous allergies, sinus infections, etc. In fact, I have that much. I'm just wondering, would you recommend anything in particular order, like detox first? Just because I think I'd benefit from all that, it's hard to choose. Yeah, so, well, two things. So one, happy to answer your question always, anytime. But the second is that, right on the webpage, stephencabral.com/ask Cabral, it tells you right there, it's going to be about 12 weeks before I get to your question, just because we have so many questions in the queue. But second, you could get the same answer the same day by asking at cabralsupportgroup.com. All right, so again, I've answered, I don't even know, 7+ years, every single weekend answering a dozen questions. It's a lot of questions answered, right? So most of these questions have been answered. I'm happy to answer it. I just don't want you to have to wait 12 weeks, that's all. So yeah, there is a specific way. You do the functional medicine detox first, 21-day functional medicine detox. After that, you can enjoy a nice flex meal. And then you're going to go into whatever the protocol is that you think you need. So it would go, for example, Parapro support protocol first, maybe with the Mastigum for the H Pylori, again, not providing any treatment plans. Then we would go into the CBO protocol. After that, we would do the CBO finisher, which kind of heal and seals the gut, right? And at the same time, we could then concurrently begin our heavy metal detox or mold protocol, or maybe something more specific for you. So basically, that's how most people do it, and they have fantastic success. 21-day functional medicine detox, then into the para support as needed. If not, they go right into the CBO protocol, the CBO finisher afterwards, and then they can do the heavy metal or the mold or whatever else the add-on it might be after that, and their body's already so much stronger. All right, so yeah, thanks for writing in. I just want to make sure you get your questions answered faster, that's all. Erica says, what causes recurring H. pylori infections? I got rid of mine about 3 years ago following your protocol, and I appear to be positive again. Thanks in advance. Well, I'm glad you got rid of it 3 years ago, but unfortunately, people with what they call kapha imbalance in the stomach, or weakened digestion, or weakened immunity. Again, I'm not giving you a diagnosis. The bacteria, when they're exposed to it, it can easily take hold to a greater degree. So if there's not enough stomach acid, like if you're on a stomach acid blocker, easier to get a H. pylori infection. The next one is if you are eating a lot of undercooked meat, or a restaurant where it's not the cleanest, or what else is another one? Sometimes sushi, but not as much. That's more parasites, but certainly you could get it for sure. So it's good, like you could just, it's so common. Honestly, it's so common. Like it's not, it may have just been a coincidence that you just got it again. And yeah, it's tough. It's a tough one because it is really common. Salad bars, undercooked meat, restaurants where, the plates weren't clean or someone didn't wash their hands. That's how you get it, honestly. And it happens, unfortunately. So I would repeat the protocol that worked for you that first time. And unfortunately, you got to do it again, but you know it works and you can get rid of it. So hopefully that's helpful. And then make sure your digestive system's strong, and especially when you do go out to eat, that you're taking your, daily digestive enzymes. You're doing whatever you need to keep that stomach strong. All right, Carrie's up next. Hi, I love your podcast. Listen almost every day. Happy to hear that, Carrie. And I know that I appreciate the comment as well, Holly too. So let's see here. Carrie says, I'm on a strict carnivore diet for psoriasis that I've been on for 2 months now. I just quit using betamethasone after using it for many months. I've only cheated on my diet one weekend each month with dairy-free, sugar-free ice cream. Why am I not seeing improvement yet? Is it TSW or maybe a little cheats I did are slowing the progress? Thank you so much for all you do. Okay, I'm not an advocate of the carnivore diet. I don't believe it's the best thing to do to get rid of psoriasis. I believe that protein for many people can actually be a big part of the issue. So that is why, if anything, and again, I'm not recommending this, a lot of people go on a juice or a vegetarian, bean type diet, and they see a massive reduction in psoriasis. So yeah, I'm actually not an advocate of a strict carnivore diet. Now, some people do get temporary results with autoimmune issues. I know psoriasis, of course, is one of those, but I've seen it more with like rheumatoid. I've seen it more with a few other issues rather than meat-based, because the meat-based one for psoriasis actually can be one of the reasons for the psoriasis. A lot of gut permeability, a lot of undigested protein, a lot of liver toxicity issues, kidney overload, et cetera. And then it gets pushed out through the skin. I mean, I've been working with people with psoriasis for like 15 plus years. And so I've tried everything. And I can tell you for sure, again, like, okay, carnivore is the latest fad. It's not a good idea. It's not a healthy diet. I know people are getting rid of a lot of symptoms, but you have to go deeper than that. Like I can't go into it on today's podcast, and I always am frustrated that I'm not able to go all in depth about everything all the time, but I have whole podcasts on this. I mean, right now, there is zero longevity scientists who believe in the carnivore diet. They laugh at it when people say that. It's a fad diet. I mean, that's all that it is. It's the new Atkins diet. We've already seen these things before. You will lose a lot of weight on it. You will you'll shrink your gut microbiome. So if you had bacterial imbalance, you start to get rid of a lot of inflammation. Like I get it, I understand, but it's a conventional medicine. It's almost a pharmaceutical approach. It's a Band-Aid approach to people getting well. And Carrie, this is not on you. This is on all the, so-called practitioners out there recommending this who don't actually have a private practice, who are not necessarily working with people. And I hate to come down on practitioners like that, but it's not helping people. And it is absolutely going to shorten their life. Okay, so they get a temporary cessation of symptoms. How do they do that? Well, they shrunk their gut microbiome. They most likely had candida overgrowth, SIBO, and maybe even H. pylori. I don't know. And now all of a sudden they're not feeding any of the bacteria in their gut because there's basically no fermentable carbohydrates, except now they're making the carnivore diet, which is so hilarious. You can include fruit now. Okay, so all of a sudden, all these carnivores, right? A carnivore literally does not eat fruit. Can it eat some fruit? Sometimes, yes. If it's starving and it can't get any other food, it's not what their digestive tract is meant to do. So I have a whole podcast on this, the mounting evidence against meat. I got all the natural human diets, how our digestive systems are set up, why people are getting temporary results. Then you look at things like how it increases mTOR and it's a horrible diet. I mean, it really is. Yeah, temporarily. Again, temporarily, if you want to do it, but it's a Band-Aid approach. It's not looking at the underlying root cause of why people have psoriasis. If you go back to my previous shows on psoriasis, the main reason people have psoriasis is gut-based issues, gut imbalances, parasites, H. pylori, candida overgrowth, or SIBO, with intestinal permeability, plus high levels of stress. Every single time in my practice, not every single time, but 9 out of 10 times, and most likely, I know, Carrie, I don't know you, but you're part of the 9 out of 10. I'm not saying that. I can't give you a diagnosis, but rest assured, unless proven otherwise, that's most likely it. And again, I say this, and sometimes in a very rant-like style, but it's only because I want to help people, and I am a salmon swimming against the tide, against the river every single day because of short-term results that people are, that marketers and people are promoting like that. So anyway, I got to stop. All right, Kate's up next. Kate says, "Hi, Dr. Brawl. I'm 52 years old. I'm a female, pretty healthy and fit. I eat a low-carb diet, take daily nutritional support, work out at least 4 to 5 times a week, do intermittent fasting, I do a 16-8. However, the second time I get very sharp pain in my chest, exactly in the middle of my chest. It lasts for weeks. The first time I had this, I got scared that I might have a heart attack. I went to the doctor, did all the tests, and they didn't find anything, fortunately. Seems like I was healthy. Now, several years later, I have the same thing. I was searching up on the internet, and I found the name Costochondritis, which seems to match all the symptoms I have. Is there anything I can do to prevent this from happening again? I was also wondering if my exercises could have caused that. I do Pure Barre mainly." Well, I don't know the exact workout you're doing in Pure Barre, but absolutely. Costochondritis, which is basically inflammation of the cartilage up here in the chest, in the sternum. If you see me on video, I'm kind of like rubbing my chest. You can kind of hear it in the microphone. Basically like that solar plexus, if you tap the middle of your chest over your heart, that is what's inflamed. And you sometimes feel like you're having a heart attack, but a lot of times it is actually from inflammation in that area from a workout. It's not the only thing. So you actually want to look at what did you do the 24 to 72 hours before that could have caused a trigger in that inflammation. Now, it could be from other things. There's no doubt about it, but I would ask you all sorts of things like recently, Had you had an upper respiratory infection or cold? And that caused inflammation. Were you coughing a lot? The coughing could cause that inflammation. Were you potentially vomiting? Did you get sick and you were vomiting for a few minutes straight? Okay, that could have caused the inflammation. So all I do is I keep asking, what was different, what happened, why? And it's some type of typically trauma in that area that creates the inflammation. So you did the right thing. You go to your doctors. You say, hey, is something serious going on here? And they said, no, good. So that cleared up that because we need to make sure of that. But now you're doing the right thing also. And you're saying, okay, what might this underlying root cause be? And it could be specific exercise you're doing. So I just want you to take a look at that. And that should lead you, though, to your answer, kind of a journal as to why this may have happened. All right, let's get in one more. Anonymous says, hello, Dr. Cabral. I was so excited to see that Beautycounter was on your website under resources. That made me so happy because I've been using their products for a few years now and my skin has never looked better. Their mission is to formulate the cleanest products of all, everything from makeup, personal care products, skin deodorant. I love that they work with legislation trying to get laws passed and changed so they can get the cleanest products into the hands of all of us. I love that their products are EWG verified and non-hormone disrupting. Thank you for being a Beautycounter advocate. Oh, all right. Well, this is not even a question, just a, hey, thank you. So, thank you, Anonymous. I appreciate you. So the thing is, what I do on the resources page at stephencabral.com/resources is simply find the best companies that are doing things the right way. That's it. And I'm always updating it. So if you haven't checked it out, there's probably like 100, maybe 120 different companies that my family uses, I use, we use in my private practice, and that are verified to be good quality companies. Not just good quality, clean companies that do lab testing and all that, but also they have good customer service, like that they're friendly people. That's who we try to work with as well. And again, we don't own any of these companies. I typically don't know anyone to do with any of these companies. I have no idea who runs Beautycounter. I know who they are, what they promote, what they stand for, that it's a clean company, but I don't know them, right? I don't know these companies, but I say, hey, this is what I use. People always ask, like, what have we been using in my family, myself, and what do I recommend in our practice? And I put it up on a website. And so I try to make it as easy as possible for people. So I appreciate you. I thank you. I mean, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. And my team does such a phenomenal job. I try to thank them as often as I can. I mean, you're only as good as your team. And I have an amazing team. They really do a lot behind the scenes. And so if you're listening and you're on the Equilife team, the Integrative Health Practitioner team, or the Cabral Wellness team, the StephenCabral.com team, I thank you, appreciate you. And I thank everyone here in our community. Appreciate you, thank you. I'll be back tomorrow on the Mindset of Motivation Monday. Don't miss it. It's the best way to start the week. Take care. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my health results accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stephencabral.com/courses.